Hello everyone, my name is Rohan. So today we will discuss about the topic called as federalism. But before we head towards the federalism, in the previous topic we have discussed about power sharing. So let's revise about power sharing. What is it? And then afterwards we will take federalism. So what is power sharing? So if we when we talk about the power sharing, we particularly talk about the power sharing between the constituent elements of the democratic structure. So what are these constituent elements? That is the government and its institutions. So government power sharing is between the governments. What kinds of government, or there is a level between the governments? Two-tier government, there is a three-tier government. So power sharing is of two types. This is vertical power sharing, and again second type is a horizontal power sharing. So what is vertical power sharing? In vertical power sharing, power is divided between two or more than two according to the type of the democratic structure is divided. Let's say India. If we take the example of India, in our chapter there is example of Belgium and Sri Lanka, but we will take the relate to the our country, that is India. So there is power division between the central government and the state government. Further, it is divided again subsequently to the PRIs, that is Panchayat Raj institutions such as municipality. If we take the example of Pune Municipal Corporation, or being presented PCMC, we can take that. And other below that there is a Panchayat Raj institution, right? The Gram Panchayat and all. So these are the vertical power sharing. So what is horizontal power sharing? Horizontal power sharing, we can say that in between the government or between the organs of the government. So what are these? Like the judiciary, legislature, and the executive. This is the horizontal power sharing. So now let's move towards the our topic, that is federalism. So what is federalism? What does it mean? Or what is federation? So federalism means division of power between the central authority and the subsequent subunits, that is states in the country. Or we can say that division of power between two or more than two constituent units or elements of the country. So that is federalism. So what is the literal meaning of federation? What is it? Federation is come from Latin word called foedus. It means that it is an agreement. It is agreement between the subunit that it states to form a central authority. That is the literal meaning of federation. So, when we talk about the federation or the federalism, we will do it with the comparison with the USA, particular USA with India, so that we can get it will be simplified for us to understand. It will be convenient for us to understand it. So let's discuss about. We have said that we have marked it at what is federalism or federation. So why it is important to form a federation? In last chapter we have seen that is power sharing is important. Why it is important? To have an efficient government, to have efficient procedure of the government or the services of the government. Also, since India is a very diverse country, from north to south and east to west, to accommodate all the aspirations of these diverse sections of the society, federation is important, or balance of power or division of power is important. So that is also marked. So uh, what are the types of federation or federalism? So there are multiple types of federalism. That is, what is cooperative federalism is there, competitive federalism is there, symmetrical federalism, unsymmetrical, fiscal federalism is there. So what does it mean? What is meant by cooperative federalism? Cooperative federalism means the central authority and the subsequent unit states cooperate with each other on various sections, or we can say various programs. If we take the example of India, we know that the midday meal scheme. So the fund to the midday meal scheme is divided between central government and the state government. So midday meal scheme is an example of cooperative federalism where state and the center collaborate with each other to have a good implementation of the midday meal scheme, which purpose is to increase the enrollment of the students in the school. And what is the competitive federalism? In competitive federalism, other states compete with each other for uh, and with on the basis of performance they are rewarded. What is the example of competitive federalism? If we take the example of competitive federalism, we know that Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, we have all the uh, all the municipalities, you may have experienced that the Ghanta Gadi comes at your doorstep to collect the garbage. So these are Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and the and which the city which is the cleanest city get rewarded. So this is important. So that is the competitive federalism. Okay. What is symmetrical federalism? The symmetrical federalism states that all the laws and the rules are equally applied to the states irrespective of their geographical positions and uh, history, or say traditions. All the laws are we can say that the constitution is equally applied to the all the states. You can say that is an example of symmetrical federalism. And what is unsymmetrical federalism? Let's say the northeastern parts of India, we know that the seven sisters, northeastern part of India has a distinct culture. The tribes there are, for example, if you take the Naga tribe or Garo Khasi Jayantia tribe, these are the tribes. We don't want to get into detail of that, but these have very distinct culture. So to protect that distinct culture, also these states have the large these states share border with the international border with the other countries like China, Myanmar, Bangladesh. So to protect these our interest in terms of the people also, and in the international borders also, we have special provisions for them. For example, article 371. Article 371. So these are the unsymmetrical federalism where some states, for different reasons, as we have discussed already, are given some special provisions. Now, fiscal federalism. What is fiscal federalism means? The constitution divides the revenue between the central authority and the states. It is called fiscal federalism. So the finance commission, let's say finance commission says, uh, gives the formula how the revenue is shared between the uh, states and the central authority, and further the PRS, that is municipalities, and all this. So these are the types of the federalism. In major sense, a major type of federalism, if we discuss, we can say major type of federalism we will discuss further after the we come to the Indian context. Let's see then what are the federal features of the constitution. What are the federal features? So federal features, federal features. What are the federal features of the federal features? It's bicameralism. First, take bicameralism. Bicameralism means the Parliament of India. The Parliament of India have two houses, that is Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. The whichever bill, if suppose the act should be have to pass, bill has to be passed to convert it into act. This should be gone through these two houses, that is Parliament consists of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. This is bicameralism, that is two houses are there. Again, what is the further feature of the federalism? That is written constitution. India has written constitution, single document which guides the country, which has parts, which has schedules, which has articles. All these are included in the written constitution. Again, what is independent judiciary? One of the feature. What is independent judiciary? What does it mean? Independent judiciary means the judiciary should not get influenced by the executive and the legislature while delivering a judgment. Otherwise, these values get compromised, the constitutional values. That is why the independence of judiciary is also a federal feature. So, how this independence of judiciary is ensured in the constitution? So, this it is ensured with the help of some provisions such as the uh, judges are there. So, tenure of the judges, their salary and the pension is funded by consolidated fund of India. We will not get into detail of details because we don't have at this age we don't have to be aware of it till now. So need to be aware of it. So these are the features of the federal features of the constitution, or say federal features of the structure. We can say that. So Indian, let's say how federalism is uh, what we practice in Indian context. So let's compare it with the other country also, so that it will be get it will be simplified for you to understand. So so literal meaning of federalism, as we have discussed, that there is a division of power between the center and the small states or the state units. So in India, this literal meaning is not followed. Why it is not followed? Because in Article 1 of the Indian Constitution, it is written that India as a union of states. It is the union of states. It means that, and in America, there is federation, United Federation. What is difference between these two terms? It is important. What is difference between these two terms, that is union of state and federation, United Federation? In the second term, that is the United Federation, the states in the USA have come together to form a federation. They have agreement. We have discussed what is the meaning of the federation, that is FODUS, that means agreement. They have come with agreement. Suppose uh, Ohio state or Michigan state and all these states have come together, they have agreement to form a federation. Okay, but this is not the case in India, because in India we have already princely states, large princely states and the provinces. After India got independence, some states have been we can say liberated on the linguistic basis. We have divided them. So this is not the case where states come together and they form the union. No, no. We have already an union, and after that the states are formed. So how should we differentiate? So what are other features? Means what does this union of state implies? It implies that the state doesn't have power to exit from this union. Indian state, as let's say Maharashtra, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, does not have power to exit from this federal structure. Also, these central, that is central government, has some little more power than the state government in Indian federation system. And okay, have more power than the state government in USA. But in USA, state has more power, or let's say power, not autonomy, we can say that state have more autonomy, okay, as compared to Indian structure. You have, so which there are various we can say that federation structures are uh, practiced in all over the world, different federation structures. We followed that. Our federation structure is based on Canadian model, where state governor is also appointed by the center. Okay, so our model is Canadian model. So in India, how this federalism is practiced? So federalism is practiced in India through, we have say, linguistic basis, that is state are divided in linguistic, on the linguistic basis. Also language policy. Language policy in India, there is no any official language, though Hindi is we can say that Hindi is used by 40 or 44% of the people, but not greater than 50. Though, so Hindi is not our official language, because other languages are also, in some sense, like Bengali is used, or people about 9% use Bengali as their mother language. So also the Tamil language is there, also the Marathi is there. So Hindi is, though the priority is that the Hindi should be used in our official documents, Hindi and English, but it is not official national language of the country, we can say that. And other is, and how other how it is practiced in India. So let's say there is Schedule 7. There is Schedule 7 in the Indian Constitution. What is given in the Schedule 7? In this Schedule 7, there are three lists are given in the Schedule 7. What are these lists? There is center list. There is a list where the center can make law. There is state list where state can make laws, and there is concurrent list. There only they are both center and state. Center and state can make laws. So what? And there is also one list or subject. These are called residuary subjects. Means what? The subjects which are not included in these, or which are not covered in these three lists, are called residuary. And who will make law on this subject? This power is given to the center. Center will make law on the residuary subject. So what are the centralist subject? Let's say defense. Example. For example, defense. State cannot make law on defense. What is the state subject? Example, education. Sorry, agriculture. Agriculture is the state subject. What are the concurrent subject? Let's say education. Education. We have NEET. We have JEE exam also, and in Maharashtra we have Maharashtra CET also. So education, where both state and center can have their own, we can say that, policies or laws. But if there is a conflict between the center and state, if there is a uh, there is a conflict between the center and state on the subject, on law related to two concurrent list subject, so the central law will get priority, it will prevail. Central law will get priority, it will prevail. So so these are the various tools, or we can say measures, are taken to practically ensure the federalism should work in India. Okay, federalism should work in India. These are the practical approaches have been given. So let's say, so is it possible that these federal features, or federal, the issues which are federal, should be arbitrarily can be altered or amended by the parliament unilaterally? Is it possible? It is definitely not possible. Federal issues means the issues which are affected both the center and the states are not arbitrarily amended by the parliament. So how it is amended, or how can make change? So while making changes, you have to consider the opinion of the states also. For example, president, election of president. Let's say the election of president is one thing, and there, if we have to change the, so let's say there is an amendment to change something in that. For that bill to become an act, it need to be passed by the parliament. Also parliament, there is majority, special majority, plus parliament plus state legislature. Which state? Half of the state should ratify it. Half of the states should ratify it. Then only we can change this, uh, make amendment in this, in the president election issue. So let's cross question. Is it possible? So if suppose few years back Telangana got separated from Andhra Pradesh. So for that amendment, does it require the ratification of state? What do you think? No, it does not require. Simple logic. Why would the people or the elected representatives of Maharashtra take part in the decision to break away Telangana from Andhra Pradesh? They have nothing to do with it. Why would they? So, it, so the center or the parliament center can change the name, area, and boundary of any state without the formal amendment of the constitution. Under the Article 3, constitution have given power to the central to change this. Okay, so, and also, so there may arise one question. So you are saying that the center can intervene in these topics. So how it our federal structure, our Indian government structure is federal. You are right. We are not particularly a very hardcore like USA federal structure. We have a quasi-judicial federal structure, or we can say that federal structure which has unitary bias. Which has unitary bias. So what is this unitary biasness? What is this unitary biasness or unitary features? So these features are like our constitution, like single citizenship. Single citizenship. USA has two citizenship, but we have only single citizenship. Also, the All India services. What does it mean? Your IS, IPSs, though they are posted in various states, but their training and all this is done by the Indian government, that is the central government. Again, what is other? Integrated judiciary. Integrated judiciary. What does it mean by integrated judiciary? Integrated means we have uh, a hierarchy of the judiciary, that is Supreme Court, High Court, and it follows by Session Court and District Court and Session Court, all this. So these states or these judiciaries can interpret both central law and state laws. The judiciary can interpret both central law and state law. Means what? Let's suppose government of India made one act, or say let's suppose one state has made enacted one act. If that act infringe, if that act has a reverse, it has a reverse effect on the fundamental rights of the people. It has reverse effect on the fundamental rights of the people. Supreme Court and High Court has the authority to disqualify that or say it is illegal. So that is the judicial review power. We can say that judicial review power is for both state acts and the center act. This is called as integrated judiciary. Okay. So Indian context we have said that, and also so this is unitary bias the Indian federal structure has. Another, what is the unitary bias the Indian federal structure has? Let's suppose we have seen that three list on 7th schedule, right? Three list we have seen in the 7th schedule, that is center, state, and concurrent. This is exclusive to center, means only center can make laws on the subjects given in the central list. Okay. State list, does it means is it exclusive for state to make laws on subject given in this state list? No, it is not exclusive. It is not exclusive. Why? There are some exceptions to this. That is why it is not exclusive. Example, one exception I can give, that is, since our parliament has two houses, right? Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha is house of people, we say, right? And Rajya Sabha is house of representation of state are given in Rajya Sabha. Okay, so if Rajya Sabha make a resolution, if Rajya Sabha make a resolution in the national interest on the subject given in the state list, this proves that center can interfere in the state subject. Okay, so that the unitariness or the unitary bias, uh, there are provisions. One of these, this is the provision where recent what we have explained is one of the provisions of the unitary bias. So there are two other concepts in the federalism, that is which are very important actually. These two concepts of SOP, that is separation of power and cooperative, let's say, means overlapping, or why SOP means separation of power between whom? Separation of power between whom? That is legislature, executive, and judiciary. Why there is importance given on the separation of power? To have a check and balance. To have a check and balance, and one of the organ of the government should not become an authoritative. To avoid that, this separation of power is one of the fundamentals, or we can say principles, included in the federalism. So does the Indian structure follows separation of power strictly? No. Indian federal structure though have separation of power, but not as um, what we can say strictly as it follows in the USA. So we have cooperative federalism. We have means cooperative federalism is in India, though we have separation of power, but not very strictly. Okay, so we have cooperative federalism. Let's say, for example, how can I give you example? Let's take an example of parliament. Okay, in India, let's suppose parliament has two, uh, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. This is a people's house. Okay, so we get MPs, no, and the government, its cabinet, that is the ministers in the government, are also MPs. So MPs, that is, and say council of minister. Okay, so this is the council of minister is responsible to the house of people, means this, if question is asked on the policy and other stuff, this council of minister is responsible, he has to give answer to these people. Okay, and MP, since MPs since the council of minister are also MPs, they are the member of this one of these house only. Okay, so this is our Indian structure, which is the cooperative. Okay, so how it is followed in the USA is that in USA, president and its council of minister is separated from the house of their houses, that is the house of commons and senate. Means in Indian structure, a member of legislature can be a council of minister, but in USA this does not happen. Their president and council of minister is very different. He is not responsible to the house of commons and the senate as we have in India, and these people are not part of his cabinet. So this is the difference between separation of power and a cooperative, we can say, federalism. In Indian context, we have this kind of structure. So what are the issues that are arising uh, in this federal structure? What are these issues? So these issues are, for example, issues of the governor. So who is this governor? Governor is the formal head of state, like let's say center and state. We will use comparative. Here is center, here is president. In state there is governor. We have PM, here is CM. Okay, so this president, this is governor. So PM is elected. So only difference is PM is elected, CM is also, let's say, elected member. The president is also elected member. Okay, indirectly it may be, but it is elected member. But governor is not elected member, because if governor is elected, there will be clash of what we can say power and responsibilities between the CM and the governor. So governor is appointed. And who appoints the president? Appoints this governor. But president appoint this on the advice of council of minister. So some states have complained that these governor are acting as the puppets of the central government. These governors are acting as a puppets of the central government, are interfering in the democratic process of the state legislative assembly. Like what? How they are interfering? Let us suppose there is a state and it has one state legislative assembly. Okay, so when state legislative assembly passes a bill, it goes to governor. If governor have four options, what he can do? He can give assent, means he passes the bill, he withhold the bill, he rejects, and other he reserves for president. So if he give assent to the bill, it become act. There is no problem at all with this. If he withhold, where is the problem? If we withhold this bill for longer duration, this bill get what we can say, it expires, we can say that. If it withholds for whole time, and now the governor means the issue today we are facing, some states say that the governor, since he is acting as a puppet of central government and he is withholding these bills, also he is reserving these bills for president, means he reserves bill for president. So then when he reserves bill for president can send back the bill to the legislative assembly, and if legislative assembly again passes bill, the president have power. He may not pass your bill, it has power. So these are some issues that our Indian federal structure is facing. Also the GST, there was a, before GST, state governments have their own resources or taxes. Since the GST has come, their tax revenue, or they are become independent on the center. In India, after 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment in 1992, constitutional status is given to PRIs. So PRIs before this constitutional status and PRIs after this constitutional status, what is the difference? PRIs were existed, but they have no power. Their elections were not held regularly. Okay, these were the issues. So despite existing before the constitutional status is given to them, they were very inefficient in their work. After the constitutional status is given with the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment, the PRIs means the municipality or the Gram Panchayat, they have become more powerful, they have their own resources. Okay, so there has to be elections to be held with with a given specific time, or periodically election should be held. For election of these municipalities and gram panchayat, the state election commission is formed to have these elections for this PRF. So we have in India, we have in general, actually this structure, the third structure is in some state is divided into four. Means we have India in three-tier government, we can say. That is central government, where our honorable prime minister sits. State government, where our chief minister and the mayor or the sarpanch, these are PRI, that is municipalities or gram panchayats. And in some state they have four, means they have further divided, means they have BLOs and all block developments. It is further divided in some state according to the state laws. So in this way, the federalism is actually practiced in India. So in this way we have completed the chapter. Thank you for your patience.